Right Honourable friend, the member for Hodge Hill, again raises the issue of strategic lawsuits against public participation, or as they're commonly known, SLAPs. This has, of course, now been a deeply troubling issue for a very long time. SLAPs are defined as, and I quote, a recognisable and pernicious form of litigation which seeks to silence, intimidate and harass opponents, and that they are designed to silence criticism and investigation conducted in the public interest. These are not my words, Mr. Deputy Speaker, but the government's very own definition. Others refer to this practice as lawfare. Now, we've seen in the past this practice being used by the lawyers of Russian oligarchs against investigative journalists seeking to uncover corruption. But we now know that these tactics have also been used by not one but two Conservative Party chairmen in recent years. In March 2019, I wrote to the Right Honourable Member for Great Yarmouth, when he was chair of the Conservative Party, with my concerns regarding the origins of a £1.8 million donation from Ehud Sheleg, who was then Treasurer of the Conservative Party, to the Conservative Party. I was sent a reply by the Right Honourable Member for Great Yarmouth threatening to sue me for libel. And he may even have got away with it, had one of Mr. Sheleg's donations not later been flagged by Barclays Bank to the National Crime Agency, in their view because it originated not from Mr. Sheleg's bank account, but from the bank account of his father-in-law, a former pro-Putin Russian politician. Lawfare in action, Mr. Deputy Speaker. But there's more, this time from representatives of the current Conservative chair. You may have heard his name. He's been in the news quite a bit recently. In July 2022, Dan Needle, a former head of tax at Clifford Chance and who now runs a Tax Policy Associates, accused the then Chancellor of the Exchequer of providing unsatisfactory answers about his tax affairs. And what happened next, Mr. Deputy Speaker? Well, Mr. Needle received a letter from the law firm Osborne Clarke, representing the Right Honourable Member for Stratford-on-Avon, demanding that he withdraw his claims. A truly audacious approach and move, one might say, given what we now know about the former Chancellor's tax returns. So the bottom line is that we have a government that claims to be committed to tackling SLAPs, whilst its ministers are actively using the practice to their own benefit. Little wonder, then, that legislative progress has been somewhat sluggish, and that speed of action on the part of the government does not reflect the urgency and gravity of the issue. New clauses 1 and 2, in the name of my right honourable friend for Hodge Hill, would provide a much-needed shot in the arm to efforts to resolve the endemic use of SLAPs in British courtrooms, whilst new clause 21, tabled by my right honourable friend the member for Barking, with cross-party support, addresses the related issue of cost orders, which clearly form part of the legal architecture which is all too easily exploited by criminals to exert a chilling effect on critics and journalists reporting in the public interest. And new clause 7, tabled by the Honourable Member for Cheadle, would incorporate much-needed protections for whistleblowers into this bill. All of these backbench amendments have the wholehearted 100% support of the opposition frontbench. After months of consultation on SLAPs, the Ministry of Justice published a response which confirmed, and I quote, that the government intends to pursue legislative reform at the earliest opportunity. Well, that was back in July last year. If there's been any meaningful progress since that time, it's not been apparent to me or to my honourable and right honourable friends or any other members who've signed on to these clauses. So I ask the Minister now, how much longer will it take for the government to act decisively on this issue? Moving on now to new clause 3. The Honourable Member for Oxford West and Abingdon, as has already been mentioned, and she's in her place, raises the important issue of the Tier 1 investor or golden visa scheme, which was closed down last year amid much ignominy arising from its extensive use by Russian oligarchs and other kleptocrats. In April last year, I wrote to the then Home Secretary to call for the publication of the government's internal review of the scheme without delay. In that letter, I said that it is simply not enough that the scheme is now closed and a small number of oligarchs sanctioned. politicians and the public alike must be able to understand the findings of the report and learn the lessons. And here we are, more than 9 months later, that argument still holds true. And it's deeply regrettable that the Home Secretary is refusing to publish the report in full.